It's Shannon.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon Live.
It's Shannon.
Because you don't know how it's going to turn out.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
My kids empowered me to get out.
What's going on with this remote learning in the midst of COVID?
Working for different elected officials, learning and understanding how to put the community first.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We got some good hot topics to talk about. But I want to first welcome my co-hosts, Dr. Vanessa and Mr. Sandler. How are you?
Hey, today's a great day.
You ready for hot topics tonight?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Listen, our first hot topic is something that we all do. Well, I can't say we all did, but I'm pretty sure at some point in life we all dated at some point. So the question now is, what would you do different now than when you was your younger self? Now that you're much older, what would you change?
So knowing what we know now.
Bad it take both for you that long to think?
Know what we know now.
I'll definitely have a different vetting process.
So you have to have what?
I definitely will have a different vetting process.
Why?
Vetting. Because you're knowledgeable more today, right? You know more, you want more, you demand more, the criteria change. So you want to be able to kind of like articulate. You don't just want, what that first image looks like, right? So now you got to have certain qualities, you got to have certain criteria. Nowadays, even at this age, you got to come equal or better. So now you have choices and you have, you just have options.
What? I don't understand. Why does there have to be so much criteria to the person that you're looking for? You're not going to find anyone that's perfect. I'm not looking for a
perfect person, but I want somebody to at least have some ambition, that's motivated, to have a goal that's headed to some direction. I don't want nobody just telling me, I'm gonna figure it out later on. I got all this time and this that. No, that's not growing to me. That's not growth for me.
Well, let me ask you something. Well, I'll ask you something, but ask myself as well. Do we understand the importance of allowing? Because I'm with you on the vetting thing, Dr. B. Don't you? Because I believe there's an importance in allowing my inner circle, to vet for me. I make the final decision, but if I have people that I love and trust, not my next door neighbor, not my high school principal, but but my close one. If I call you my brother, you're my brother. If I call you my sister, you're my sister. And bring that person around, and just really say, "Hey, you're about to be thrown to the lions." Then I would tell the person. So the first thing I would do is I would allow my inner circle to be more involved, and I would say second, I would tell myself. What would I tell myself? I would tell myself to wait. I had a blessed long-term relationship in the form of a marriage that lasted over 20 years. And I had met my ex when I was 14, and then got married when I was 20. So as much of a blessing, great thing as it was, I tell all my children, wait until
in your case, see, it's not that people can't get married young and stay married until they die. It's just whatever happens. You could have got married young and you was young in mind. So you really wasn't that mature enough to say when something would happen or you was having a problem, you was willing to work it out like it is when you're a much older person. See, now I'm an older person. So now I can work it out with the person better. When I was younger, if you did something, whatever, I'm out of here. I ain't got time for you. I don't have time for this now. I'm on to the next person. That's how we felt when we was younger. But when you're older and get married, to me, I think now you're more mature. So you have learned now when something happens, you can sit there and talk about it, and because it's all about communication. That's what I have learned. In a relationship, whether you marry or not married, it's about communicate. If you can't talk to each other and sit down and work it out, then there's a problem there. Because you should. That's what we miss, is we don't know how to sit down with each other, talk about it, discuss it, come to some kind of decision about it. We just get angry, upset about it, and the next thing we say, "Look, I want a divorce." I want a divorce.
Lottie, you hit on two keynotes, right? You talk about maturity. Yes, what you know today would be a different factor many years ago, right? You'll make wiser decisions. You'll know how to control. You'll have discipline. You'll be committed. You'll be more committed to a common goal and not give it up so early. And then you hit on another gem that, as far as communication, it's good to talk with people and not to people or at people. And so that's one of the things that's lacking. And sometimes people need to kind of find themselves. It's too much focus on jumping out the frying pan to the fire, or and trying to do things together when people don't even know who they are. Kind of sit back, take a step back, and focus who they are, itemize and prioritize what goals they would like. Because sometimes people mingle and they get together with other people, and it's all about what other people want, what their goals are, and you try to do things together. But you could do things together, but you need to have some self-identification of your own.
I like
Well,
that.
yeah,
Because
that's true. And another thing Sandler said was about letting his friends and family and all them people to throw them there. First of all, I wouldn't be bringing my friend around no family and friends and stuff like that.
really,
At some point they would meet the person, but I don't even think I would have been. Because me, I'm the one that has to get to know you, not them. And you better be careful of bringing them around some of your
Lottie,
friends and family because they take your man.
Lottie, no, okay. I understand that
Wait.
but
Next
but
thing
we-
they'll
we're
have
in
your
the day
man
and
and
time
your woman and
also.
go.
we're in the day and time also. See, I was just about to compliment your point until you said that. We're in a day and time also where we're blind and we get so distracted and we don't always want to see. And some of us, a lot of guys I know, a lot of females that I know are really desperate to jump into something. My girlfriend and I were talking the other night. To your point about having serious talks, I complimented and told her I appreciated that not only I'm at a stage, but we're at a stage where we can have a hard, serious talk. Where the same conversation a few years ago, it probably would have been, you know what, I'm done. But to your point, and it wasn't from a point of, well, I need her to stick around or I don't want to lose her. Because one thing, we're not in a desperate business. None of us on this panel are in a desperate business. But it's more like, you know what, I'm learning about myself from listening to the issues and how it affects me personally, emotionally. And it's showing me that, wow, I've really grown because a lot of things that were discussed could have been, it doesn't have to necessarily be, but could have been deal breakers 10 years ago because we have the illusion of so many
Well,
options.
listen, if you're watching and you have a comment or you have something to say on this topic, hit the link and come on in and give your opinion as well. Because let me tell you, these two here, they want everybody into their relationship. Whatever.
No,
I'm just going to be into the person myself. I've seen this happen too many times. You bringing your friend around, even your own spouse sometimes, around your friends and stuff like that. Next thing you know, they talking to your spouse or your person or whatever, and they off and going someplace. I think that relationship is between the two of us. We the ones have to get to know each other.
Well, that's
we
true.
the ones have to please each other, not the other people.
Right. I think in point case that Silas talked about, when you bring your friends around, sometimes they may have someone that they may want to introduce. So to kind of get like a minimum vetting process. They can't know but so much detail, especially when it gets personal and deep, so they may not know. So there's sometimes they kind of judge their friends based on the relationship they had as knowing that person. And another thing you mentioned, Silas, you mentioned that people today are desperate. I need you to really kind of elaborate, explain to me what you mean by desperate.
Well, first, we're not playing. Us on this, we don't play the desperate game. Everybody on this panel, ladies and gentlemen out there, somebody, we're all the center of somebody's eye right now, I'm sure. But the desperate game.
Some people are desperate. Some people are desperate.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Some people are
desperate to find someone. That's why they would end up getting someone that doesn't treat them nice and treat them like they're supposed to be treated and loved.
And they're blind.
Because they're so desperate to have that man in their life.
Thus, if that's me, then I'm bringing you around not only my boys, but I'm bringing you around, my sisters and the few women that I'm close to. And I don't even have to ask because they love me enough that when I walk off, the phone's going to ring like an hour or two later. They'll make sure the coast is clear and they will tell me everything. They think now it's up to me to your point, Lottie. It's up to me to use that information to decide how I'm going to move forward. But no, vetting doesn't.
Okay, since we're talking about since we're talking about the dating and what we do now, let's move on to the next topic, which is, would you date a person that has children? So if you're a man, would you date a woman who has children? If you're a woman, would you date a man that has children? Because you got that mama drama stuff,
Well, sometimes, listen, this is a one-stop shop, right? This is a package, right? You can't come into the space and deal with me and neglect my children, because my children was here. See, marriages come and go, men come and go, relationships come and go, but your kids are supposed to be always there. So they come first before some kind of outside person other than their father or their mother. So you got to kind of like set that tone. Now you may have discussions in terms of disciplinary actions or what role they would play or what you feel your child should call that person, depending on how long they're with them in a relationship. But this is a conversation that you can't just deal with a significant other and exclude your kids like they're just, they're not part of that conversation.
Well, what about if they have those baby kids?
Those baby kids, you gotta deal with them kids. You'll know that before they get that close. You'll know that if you got some problem long before you even bring them home.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
You know what? You have to know what you're looking for, because would you date somebody with children? If I wasn't taking them serious and I know we were just hanging out, having fun, and all that stuff, then perhaps you would date somebody with children, because I'll speak as a man. A lot of guys I know don't have any intention of being involved with a mother and her kids. But then again, I know other guys, again, my girlfriend has a child. She has 2 children. And that's something where I take it very serious. Why? Because my values as being a father myself are, I would like to think, pretty high, and my children, parenthood is high on my list. And not do I like to display that naturally, but I observe, because how the person treats their children is very reflective of how you're going to be treated.
But I'm not even talking about in that instance. What I'm talking about when I said that, the baby kids and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, when you're dating someone with children and you get serious and you have intentions of really, getting the family together and whatever, it has to be where you can discipline them children when they come over to your house and stuff like that. And sometimes that person do not want you disciplining their kids. And my thing is if I'm going to be getting to the point of you that we're going to get married and all that kind of stuff, if I can't discipline your kids, then they're not coming over to my house or whatever. That's not happening.
I agree.
Well, they might as well kill that relationship right there.
No, I'm not talking about anything that I heard. I'm talking about you from experience.
Right.
Because when you in a situation like that and they coming over there being disrespectful and talking back to you and rude, and you can't discipline them because the person don't want you to discipline them.
No, that's a problem.
That's not gonna work. That's a problem right up front. You know what I'm saying? So in cases like that, that's what I'm saying.
I want to jump on that, because this is where my understanding, my belief, and the only way I'll carry myself. If I know you have a child and the child has a father and the father's active, I'll let the beautiful woman know that, listen, I'm second. You and the father coordinate things, and I will be here to support the dad if he's involved.
Sandra, hold that thought. We'll be right back, because I have a little comment on that. That little discussion there.
Okay. All right.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
That's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
Welcome back to Keeping It Real with Shannon, and we're talking about dating, and we were talking about, would you date someone that had children? And Sandra was saying that he takes second place. I don't understand that. You tell me
I
why
do.
you taking
Yeah,
second
yeah.
place.
Let me finish the thought. I'll
No,
tell
that's
you
why I
exactly
said finish
why.
that thought
And
because I
I'm
want to hear
excited
this.
about this. I love this. I'm excited because I don't have any problem playing second place to a dad who's actively in their child's life.
Oh yes,
Because
in that case, yes,
Absolutely.
biologically, I'll
yes,
never be able to defeat that man, or
yes,
should I ever compete with him? I should support a
exactly,
man raising his child.
exactly.
Because guess what? My primary responsibility is my wife. That's not his responsibility anymore. She's my
Right.
responsibility. And the child does come part of the package. And I'm going to make sure that I'm a good steward of the child's upbringing.
Absolutely.
But you're the father.
Okay,
But now
what about if the father is not involved like he's supposed to be, right? Not like he's supposed to be, but you also disciplining the kids, buying and doing stuff for the kid and all like that. But the father still want to tell you what you can do and what you can't do.
that's
Father
the
can't have
discussion
no
he and I need
say-so.
to have. That he that's discussion here, and that's the discussion we have once. Where's it, Ken? Once about it. Because your child is in my house, the mother's in my house. Guess what? We all live on the same planet, but we live in different worlds. My rules, my house. And after the discussion was had first with the mother, my significant other, as to this is my expectations as to how the house is going to run. And you see how I raise my kids. So you should have a good idea of how I'm going to incorporate that in terms of your child.
Now, what
Then
happens in the case when them children tell you ain't my dad? What
I'll
happens in
tell-
those
they're right.
cases? How do you handle that
They're
situation when the kid tell you
I won't
you
let it
ain't
come to
my
a point of
father?
conflict.
That's
It
okay.
won't-
The rule is still a rule. It doesn't change what you
Right.
got to do, what your responsibilities are. That doesn't
Right,
change
the
that.
police officer ain't your father. The principal in your school ain't your father. The doctor
Exactly.
that gives you a needle ain't your father. But you listen to them. Guess what? I have more authority than all
Yeah,
of them.
but then if the person you involved with is not letting the kids know that you have the right to discipline them, you have the right to tell them what they can do and they can't do, because sometimes the problem interferes when the father, the actual real father, is still talking to the kids and they're letting the kids know, well, that's not your father. You don't have to listen to him.
No, but then
Oh no!
So that's where the problem
There's
comes
you have to draw a line. You have to draw a line, and fine. If you can't do something at Santa's house, that's fine. Let them only do that at their father's house. But when they come home and they're there in a family, and that's the unity that's there, then they gotta abide by the conditions that goes there. And just as simple as that. It's not up for discussion, especially when sometimes you're talking to kids, and that discussion needs to be had on from the beginning. When you get involved in a relationship, that everybody needs to sit down at some point in time and say, this is what our life is going to be like. This is who's in my life. This is who's providing. And this is how it's still a mutual respect. I don't care what is it. But my biggest problem that I have sometimes that I see over the years is that particularly women, when they have kids and that outside men come in and they start fathering or what they feel parenting these kids, and it gets to the point where it becomes abusive and they don't stand up for the child. They don't defend the child. They know it's a toxic relationship. And I understand the other things that come with that. But the thing is draws a thin line of how much, what is really discipline versus abuse. And a lot of people don't really differentiate that. And that's a problem that I have, because sometimes that woman or male may say, okay, I need this person to have a roof over my head. I need food on the table. I need clothing back. And they do any and everything, that by all means. And I have a problem with that. So sometimes you got to really sit back and say, listen, is it really worth getting in a relationship, or you just need to take one for the team and step back?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the last question, which means one thing I would say to my younger self, what I know now, is you come into a relationship whole. No one completes you. This isn't the kind of thing you all of a sudden we become a power couple. I was a power individual before I was a power couple. So in that lens, that I need to make sure I'm getting with the person for needs that only that person can meet in a spiritual, emotional, intimate way, because survival should be something you should come pre-installed with. Being able
that's what I say about how important communication is. It's whether either you're dating the person as we started off with, and then even when it comes to the person that has the children, because blended families can be awesome and they can be good. And if you meet someone who does have children and they respect for it and they respect you, it can be really, really good. I have to be thankful that, I mean, I don't know why I couldn't meet too many single men with no children, because most of the men I had children. But I was always fortunate I could get along with the kids, and I'm in touch with them to today. Some of them that I met along the way and stuff like that, because we have to let them know what's going to be and what's not going to be, and you're not going to be disrespectful or whatever. And it's all in how you treat them. It's all in how you treat the kids, them and everything. See, the little ones, you can mold them. But when you meet children that's already in them teenagers and you got a problem with it, because first time you tell me it ain't your mom, we're going to have a problem. We got a problem with up front. First time you say something
things, absolutely, and things need to be made clear. You're not there to replace a parent, but you're trying to really fulfill a void, by being there when they come through the door, being somebody immediately they want to talk to. And sometimes relationships are different, right? The relationships are different with a biological parent and a step parent. And sometimes these are just bonus kids that come with parents who never had any kids. Exactly. So it's a give win-win situation, and it just really boils out to community.
Well, I think it can work. And just like you say, you got to sit down and talk about it. But before we have a third time, I just wanted to touch on, because people got so many opinions about Senator Bob Melendez. Like, what do you think? Do you think he should step down? I say no.
I don't think. I mean, he's been a little busy over the years, in the spotlight. So, but he's been standing his ground. I give him that. But I don't think he should step down. Let them find him guilty, and let the chips fall with it, lie where they fall.
Right. Is that picture? That was his wife? That picture?
Yeah.
What kind of surgery this one had? Because the reports indicate to me like they're close around the same in the same age range. It don't look like it.
Well, maybe so. Then I can't. Well, she's sexy and everything. Hey, so I guess that's good for him. But what I'm saying is
I ain't mad at neither one.
Because he has all this money. He had all this money in the house. The only problem I have with is the gold bars that he had. I don't know why he didn't have them in a vault somewhere or put them away. You don't have them laying around your house like that. But the money part, I mean, people have money laying around their house. Do you know people have money sewn in their mattresses and everything? Everybody does not put their money in the bank. So I don't know why that's such a big issue, because he had money in the house. Why don't you wait to find out if this is his savior, like he said, that he draws money out of the bank for different things and stuff like that. We don't know that. You know what I'm saying? I think people always want to jump to accuse people of stuff. Why don't you just wait till the investigation is over and then see what happened? If he did do something wrong, him and his wife, then punish them. But let's just wait. Right. I don't think he should step down as no senator.
No, all of them doing the same thing.
How long Trump been doing stuff and you ain't asked him to step down?
Which one? Who's that?
Trump. Please. They haven't got him yet.
So listen, Lottie, we're not giving him no more time on the show. We ain't giving him no time on the show.
I know.
We're talking about that. But the thing is, sometimes when you see an 8-second video or clip or investigation that they come on, stop feeding into that, right? Stop feeding into what is speculating what's what. You don't know the half of the half, right? You don't get all information. You don't know what's going on. It's true. Yeah, he's been in the limelight for some time here and there, but gold bars is nothing. Have they proved where it come from? Can they? I mean, what do they have?
Yeah, because you can buy gold bars yourself. You can buy gold bars,
and they have serial numbers on them. That's what I'm
saying. Anybody who got money can buy some gold bars. That ain't nothing new. I'm just saying. I don't know why it was laying around the house, but people buy gold bars and stuff. I mean, but the thing about it is people have money in their house. Just because you don't have enough money to lay around the house in each room and stuff like that, that's on you. But stop jumping to conclusion because he had money in his house.
I just think we're going into the center of an election cycle. And this is the time. This is the time where all the soap opera comes. Like, I mean, for example, before we got on tonight, I was looking at an article about the government running out of money. Isn't this the same thing we talk about every year? The government's always about, like, we stroke of midnight, everybody's going to be pouring, the banks are going to be closed, and then all of a sudden, a few hours before the deadline, we find $6 billion, for example, to get to Ukraine. Another $5.9 billion.
That's always the case. Always the case.
Yeah, and I'm like, so all of this is a part of that game, and that's
it's
what I see.
It's like you said, Sally, it's always around election time. Everything. Like, okay, so now you want to get rid of him as senator? Why? because you need that spot for the Republicans in order for y'all
Right.
to keep control. That's what
Right.
all of this is all about. Anyway, that's all it's all about. Because when they're doing something they don't have no business doing, nobody tells them to step down.
Well, it's only
Right.
for the
And this-
convenience, you know. So it's only for the convenience.
And these politicians really don't dislike each other. It's no different than when I see lawyers in court or my friends who are lawyers and they over here in front of their client, they're going off like rabid pit bulls. So
Exactly.
when the client leaves, the lawyer in court, when they're in court,
It's
they're all
talking
pals and
together.
pals. They even
It's
know the
talking
judge.
together.
Yeah.
They're talking together. It's just
This
like
is
now
good.
they want to shut down the government, right? They say they're going to shut down the government so people not going to get their checks and not going to get paid and all this kind of stuff. Like, excuse me, your family's going to be shut down too. You are not shutting down anything. This is all every year they're going to shut down the government until the last 2 days, the hour, then they come to some agreement. It's
Yeah.
almost like
Right.
a series on the TV.
It's a game. It's a game.
It's a game.
It's a
Every
game.
year this happens. Every year they're gonna shut
Yes.
people down. You're not gonna get paid. They want to work together, and then up to the 9th hour, all of a sudden they come to an agreement with each other.
Exactly.
So we
All of
know
a
what
sudden.
it is. That we know what it is. I don't understand what the problem is here. So I'm just waiting. Like, okay, what's gonna happen next? Now you're after him. Okay, so who's the next person you're gonna be after?
Whatever
We
happens, if
almost
there's
in
a natural
November. We
disaster,
almost in
something
November.
or-
We almost time for election, so something has to happen before election.
Well, they're already trying to do some other things, trying to shut down the government. The administration that's now putting a little tension on them, just giving them the ultimatum to remove the tension of the past administration. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not giving him no more time in the show, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now it was after Hunter. Okay, so now they was after Hunter. Now they want to impeach Biden. So, like, I mean, what else is going on? Like, do we have time for all of this? We got too much stuff going on in the world.
Well, at least you can see
And
where your
we
tax
got too
dollars
much
are
stuff
going.
going on right here in New York. We don't have time to be thinking about impeaching Biden and Hunter and all of them.
Like, who cares?
That's the point. That's the point.
I can care
Let's
less.
just go from one episode to the next, wasting our tax dollars.
This
And
is
now
a
you
reality
get letters in the
show,
mail now
Robbie.
about your taxes going up.
But you
That's
know
right.
we're in a
Exactly.
reality show, right?
Yeah, well, that's what it is, keeping it real with Shannon, because that's what they doing to us, raising our taxes. I just got my letter that my taxes been raised, which I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming from the pandemic, because when they gave out all of that money, and now the problem that we have now, the only way they're gonna survive is to raise people taxes. And
Yeah,
stuff.
they gotta
Right.
get
They
their
gave
money
out
back.
so
Because they don't
much
have
money.
no other way.
We got to
money.
talk about that one sometime in the future because
Exactly. So listen,
that big. I remember just a quick story. I remember during the pandemic, I was volunteering because anybody have no jobs, right? So I was volunteering to deliver food, and I was delivering to a senior citizens development in Lower East Side, and I would notice they all had boxes outside their apartment. Long story short, I finally asked one woman, "What are these boxes?" And she said, "Oh, one box has because there was some people have more than one box." So the main box that I was noticing, everyone got an air conditioner. I said, "Really?"
all right.
And then he said,
Well,
and she said,
listen.
"Yeah, and I got this tablet too, and I got a cell phone, and I said, "Well, the government's just rolling out." And meanwhile, the food I was delivering came from government contracts. That food that was going to go to cafeterias that wasn't going to be eaten. It was going to be tossed out. Ultimately, it was already paid for.
Well, maybe we
And
can get some
so-
of those boxes, but we gotta go. We gotta go, but
You
maybe we
got
can
it,
get
you
some
got
of the
it,
boxes
you got
where we get some cell phones and stuff. But
And
we
the
gotta
air
go.
conditioner.
So we want to thank everyone for joining us and listening today. So if you got some dating issues, okay, take care. Just remember, love the one you with. Take care.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
Would you like beautiful pictures for your home or your office? Then stop by Faith Art Gallery. They have a large selection of pictures from around the world.
It's Shannon.